Well, when I went on the trip in 1943, I was about 15 years old, and I had 2 or 3 reasons for leaving. All my life, I wanted to go back to Delta, so that was the main reason. And I had a little back problem them days, and it was kind of a relief to get out on my own and go find my relatives. And so that's where I went. I went on, hopped a freight train, me and a couple other guys, and away we went. They got off in Idaho, and I kept going. I got to Delta. And I went and seen Grandma, and she was quite surprised to see me. And of course, she wrote the folks and told them I was there, and I was fine.
They were glad to hear.
Yeah, I left them a note when I left that time, and I put it in the post office box. And it was on a Friday, I think, and they didn't get the mail till the next Monday.
Oh no.
And meanwhile, I'd tied up the horse pulling the rake, I think, the dump rake. You don't know what that is. It's a rake that you have to, hay's windrow, that's another kind of rake. And you have this thing that rakes all the way, and then you stomp on the little lever, makes it dump, makes little piles out of that long windrow. And every time that did it seemed like it was hurting my back. It just, I'd come up real, again, metal again, that, and just a jolt. I just got tired of it. So I finally tied the horse up and left it and went to the highway and headed out to meet a couple of friends, and we headed for Utah.
You didn't even go home and pack and take
No,
stuff?
I had that all done. I had the pillowcase full of the necessary things I thought I was really all set, you know.
So that was pre-planned.
Yeah, pre-planned. Yeah,
You actually took a pillowcase?
I figured I had to go. But mainly it's wanting to get back to Utah and find my relatives. And we got as far as Idaho Falls, and then we went to work in a ice cold storage place for a couple of days. And that's a place that prepared eggs for the Farragut, Idaho Navy base where Bryce trained in the Navy. And then I went on I caught a ride and went on to Utah, and George and Edwin Graff, another friend of mine, went with us, and they stayed in Idaho for a while. So pretty quick I was in Logan, Utah, and then Salt Lake. I stopped in Logan and seen Eileen, and let's see, no, where was Garth was gone somewhere. Now, I don't know if he's gone to the Navy or not. I don't think so. But anyway, I stopped seeing Eileen, and I headed right for Delta. And I got in Delta and looked Grandma up, and she tickled. I just said that, so I'll repeat it. And got to see her, and then one at a time I went and visited different relatives. She gave me a list of who was around, where to find them, and helped me line up as many as she knew. And then eventually I wrote to Mom, and after I'd seen so many cousins and aunts and uncles, and asked for more addresses of people she knows that I hadn't found, she sent me back a list of the rest of them. So I got to know probably 50 cousins, maybe more at that time, and I met all my first cousins except one boy, and that was Bert and Fonce Hudson, their oldest boy, Bud. He was in the Navy at the time. I didn't meet him at that time. But the rest of the cousins, I was all there, and I got to find them all.
And how long was this trip? How long were you there, you think?
Oh, I think the whole trip probably, I think about 3 months.
Wow, quite a trip.
Yeah.
So
I wrote letters
you just
home
stayed
to.
at different places?
And, well, once in a while. I didn't stay long with. I stayed with Fonce and Bert 2 or 3 days, and bounced around sometimes at the YMCA, and stayed with Grandma on 1 or 2 nights. Grandpa wasn't there at that time. He was sick, and I just don't recall why he wasn't there. I don't think he'd died yet, but he was pretty sick. I know she tried to give me some of his clothes, and he had a beautiful Western suit, and the jacket kind of ready, his all wool, heavy thing. And looking at it, and I told Grandma, it's sure pretty, but I told her, but it's short in one leg. Grandpa had a stiff leg, and I turned it down. I kind of wish I'd taken it, but it had nothing to do with it when I was traveling around. So it was a real pretty suit, looked like it was almost new. But he had a stiff leg. He'd had an operation on it quite a number of years earlier than that.
Do you know what was wrong with his leg?
Well, he had the bone cancer, and was one thing, and there's different thoughts on that. We've heard at times that from using a shovel on his knee, you know, shoveling the dirt, irrigating, and the like of that.
It wasn't a horse rolled on him, huh?
Well, Melba told me that it's got his back trouble and that stuff from breaking wild horses. So the leg, I don't know. I really think it was T-bone, or bone, the cancer. Cancer of the bone, excuse me. I don't, you're good at using doctor terms. But as far as we know, but he was stiff-legged the rest of his life. But they told us in them days that Grandpa had that kneecap cut out with nothing to deaden the pain. They had nothing for pain. That's what the story that I always remember.
Really?
Must have been quite a pain.
Now, these cousins that you saw, were they all Blackburn cousins, or was that a mixture of, you saw Turners
Oh,
too, right?
Blackburns and Turners and Knights, Laws. Let's see what else. You probably met some of those. Remember?
A few, but long time ago. I hardly remember meeting them.
And this whole trip, was this like skipping school time, or?
Yeah,
Was it during
yeah,
the
I dropped
summer?
out of high school. No, I completed the first year, but I didn't go back. I didn't like high school at all, and moving from Manchester to the city, everybody had their groups formed, and we was something to look at. I mean, we was different. We was funny old farm boys.
Is really that distinct of a difference?
Yeah, and they let you know it too. Got along good with some of the kids, but some of them, the little farm boy, they kind of make fun of you a little bit, but that part didn't bother. Just going into something brand new friends, and had no one of them. And basketball teams all formed. If you want to be a best basketball player, we didn't know what a basketball was till we went to town to Great Falls High School.
Really?
We'd kick things around the place there, like butchering a hog, and take the bladder and blow it up. That was our football. You remember that a bit,
No, I don't really.
don't you?